Okay, congratulations to those who have managed to get their ideal units at the most recent 6 launches. Novo Place sold 57%, Union Square at 20%, One Sophia 10%, NAVA Grove 65%, Chuan Park 78%, and Emerald at Katong close to 99%. A total of 2,500 units moved over that particular 2 weekends. What a crazy 2 weekends it was. Was there a lot of FOMO action over the past month? Absolutely. Some of the prices that were transacted were, in my humblest opinion, crazy. I think in reality, 30-40% of the people who bought into NAVA Grove and EOK got themselves a damn good deal. The rest, average, but probably not so much. But who really cares? I mean, who cares about what I say or any other agent says if you are buying something for own use? Who am I to tell you what's best for you? We can only bring to the table data, reference point, and comparisons. You work with that and find out what suits you the most. But the record-breaking month of November worries me a little bit, as the government will likely pay closer attention to the private property market to see if it's necessary to step in to intervene or not. I'll be talking about that in our next video. Okay, so some interesting fact, I believe this is history in the making. Never has there been a collection of interest hitting more than 2,000, and in the space of 2 weekends, Chuan Park managed to capture close to 2,800 checks, while Emerald of Katong topped that with 3,600. Remember I said this one thing in my video, your balloting number will decide your fate? Well, at EOK, it is the first time that I can say good balloting number alone is not enough. You must be able to buy a minimum of 2 units to even stand a chance or smell a chance. There were total 115 multiple purchasers group. 115. Usually it's about like maybe 10 to 20. And before the bulk purchasers, you also have the VIP buyers. Then comes the agents purchasing them right after the bulk purchases. In total, close to 404 units or close to 50% were sold before the public booking day itself. Which also means that the poor guy who got number 1 out of 3,600 other peeps is in theory number 405 in the queue. So next time, if you want to buy into those hyped up developments, buy in bulk. It was that crazy. I had 700 expression of interest for EOK with 6 coming from viewers out there, but guess what's my lowest number? Or rather my best number? 600 plus. So not very good. So 99% sell out, does it mean anything? Well, all I can say is that there are a lot of people who were caught in the FOMO zone. As much as the entry is important, the exit is more important than anything else. And what determines whether is it a good move for you or not? Price will definitely be the key matrix. Is paying 2,800 to 2,900 per square foot too much? Or do you think it's fair? Hence, I'll be doing a very simple post-launch review at Emerald Katong and NAVA to pick out probably the best 4 unit types to see if the price really matches up to what it was touted to be. And if it was indeed my launch of second half 2024 or possibly my launch of the year. Firstly, the guide price given and what it turned out to be. Now remember one part of my previous video, disclaimer, I'm giving my recommendations based on the guide prices whether eventually it's a ploy or smokescreen on developers and to entice the crowd by only having a few units at the guide price range and rest easily 5 to 7% higher, that I don't know. For EOK, I have to give the developer Simlian plenty of credit. They didn't really play around much with their pricing, unlike some developers where they release a guide price of 1.5xm, for example, for a 2-bedroom, but in reality, it's only for 1 unit and the rest were like averagely hitting I think 1.75 to 1.8 and above. That's not nice, man. It's really a classic textbook trick to lure buyers in. That's why I chose to focus today's video only on EOK and NAVA Grove in this instance. I have no comments on the others. For EOK, their average pricing didn't deviate that much away from the guide price. So like if the starting price was like 1.5xm for a 2-bedroom, it was not just 1 unit, but the incremental jump of about 10k started from that $1.59 million benchmark. So it was really quite legit, quite solid. Same goes for the NAVA Grove. The starting price was also quite consistent with what was being put out there. So let's start with the 2-bedroom type and 2+ study, because I really don't care much about 1+ study and there's really nothing much to talk about there. Well, for that category, I will go with EOK by virtue of location and how in demand that is. Now, between the two, and now that we understood how much the units were being sold for, we are able to do a post-mortem on them, and there are certain things that stood out for me. First, the premium for the pool facing wasn't huge. Like, if you look at it, Tech 4 0304 624 square feet pool facing as an example goes for $1.647 million, while the marginally bigger 646, 0308 and 0315 facing the road and outside the future likely GRS site respectively all cost approximately $1.655. I mean, if the layout is about the same, almost the same price tag with one facing the pool and the other facing the outwards, which one would you pick? Now, also keep in mind that the 2-bedroom starts from $1.645 million and goes all the way up to around $1.88 million for its top floor unit. What I'm going to share with you next will probably give you into a glimpse as to whether the 2-bedroom or the 2+ study was the most optimal choice to buy in this scenario. During the balloting process, we managed to spot yet another gap. And what gap is that? Is that the premium for the extra study for like level 2-bedroom unit is only an additional $60,000 at around $1.72 million. Now, picture this, $1.72 million 2+ study versus $1.655 2-bed 2-bath. And not only that, the 2+ study is facing the pool, while the 2-bedroom unit type is facing upwards. So in most other condos, the gap is usually between 150k to 250k. In this case of Tembusu Grand, for example, the outwards 2-bedroom and the inwards 2+ study was about 250k difference. So it was for me an absolute no-brainer to hit there. Now, I'm not saying that the 2-bed 2-bath is not good. It's just that I'm talking about looking at the most optimal choice. And what are the two supporting data for the 2+ study? Number one, the average price of the 2-bed 2-bath, as mentioned, is at approximately $1.77 million, while the highest floor hit around $1.88 million. The average price for the 2+ study is around $1.8 million, while the most expensive one hovered between $1.92 to $1.95. Now, even at the lower floor facing the pool at $1.72 million, we are trading at a much lower price than the average of the 2-bed 2-bath that is of a different facing, outwards facing. Now, how is that not safe? Second supporting data, surrounding competition's 2+ study. Now, Tembusu Grand averagely did between $1.8 million to $2 million. Grand Dunman did between $1.9 to $2.1 million. EOK at 1.7xm-ish. Which one do you think is safer for the 2-bedroom types? Next one, the 3-bedroom premium type, and that is NAVA Grove. Now, the cheapest unit started from $2.46 million and averagely sold at $2.6 million. 1109 square feet with 3 big bedrooms with a store and a bomb shelter. Both of these, I mentioned before, the layout is very good. You couple with the fact that a 3 compact 969 square feet averagely sells between $2.35 to $2.5 at Pinetree Hill and the 3+ study at about $3 million. Don't you think this is a very safe entry level? In my personal opinion, I think this fills the gap that Pinetree Hill didn't have, and that was the hybrid version of a 3 compact and the 3+ study. Whether ultimately this is within school zone or not, you also cannot look at a project and assume everyone buys a certain project for its school, right? So long as the price makes sense, layout is good, designs are good, school is good to have, but not a deal breaker lah. Next up, the 4-bedroom type, the 1152 square feet EOK 4+ study is still the best choice by far. Did it deviated a lot from the guide price also? The answer is no. It started from $2.75 million all the way up to the most expensive $3.1 million. Stack 13 with no views were obviously trading at a much lower price, and at $2.75 to $2.8 million, it is incredibly close to the 3+ study unit 1023 square feet, which averagely sells between $2.55 to $2.8 million. It is also a healthy discount off the larger 4-bedroom premiums at between $3.1 to $3.2 million. This price range is also at the market sweet spot where you might not be able to even get such numbers in the OCR region. Unfortunately, those who participated in balloting knows that most of the units were taken up before it even hit the public queue. Okay, remember, next time you want to participate in a hotly contested launch, make sure you find someone related to you to buy a few units, or if you have some close ties with the developer. And the last unit unit type that I thought was perfect for own use was the 4-bedroom premium units at EOK. Like one of my previous videos suggested, the layouts are amazing, the facing is good, and all it hinges on is the starting price, and boy did the starting price not disappoint. It started as low as $3.05 million all the way to $3.4 million for super high floor and average between 3.1 to 3.2 million. This is about 2 to 300k cheaper than surrounding competitions, yet boasts one of the best layouts one can find. Whether it's for own use or investment purposes, I think this is a very, very safe bet. But again, if your Q number was above 800, you wouldn't have managed to get any unit, as most of it was sold by number 6, I think, to 700. So there you have it, the unit type for each bedroom type that impressed me for plenty of reasons. EOK location was really the greatest selling point. It further justified how in demand District 15 is among local buyers. Well, but did I expect it to sell 99%? Absolutely not. I thought there should be some leftover units of the larger units after launch day itself, but even the high floor units at the premium price were being snapped up, and that has never happened before, which makes me feel that there's a lot of people who might be caught in that FOMO situation. But if their intentions are that for buying it for own use, then I will say again, who am I to tell them what is right or wrong, right? So I dare to say it, EOK really is my launch of the year only if you got yourself a good price. Now, this is not a blanket statement to say that every single unit is good, because there's ultimately a price for everything, and who got the best price? Mostly the multiple purchasers lah. On the other hand, NAVA Grove also impressed everyone too with their strong showing by selling close to 65% on first day, easily beating the first day performance of Pinetree Hill and further entrusting the sleeping giant neighborhood of Mount Sinai into the limelight. Though the location is vastly different from that of EOK, the finishing, designs and layouts alone are probably what makes it the standout candidate for best looking development of 2024. It is a level above all else. Now, the decision to put 10 square meter bedrooms for most unit types was a very smart move for me, because the developers clearly understood the target audience and knew that you are better off building something that isn't too mass market. It's not like what those gurus suggest lah. Must make it as small as possible so that it is affordable. MCL Land managed to find that balance perfectly lah. So with that, we ended the year with a bang. Throughout 2024 leading up to November, we were treated to scattered and decent launches along the way, but I believe this will be a record-breaking month that is unlike any other. Once again, I would like to congratulate all buyers who managed to get their choice units. Whether is it the best one or not, only time will tell. And seeing that it's already the first week of December here at Pocket View, I would like to take this opportunity to wish everyone a happy holidays. Stay safe, and since it took us almost 11 months for my new launch of the year to go on sale, don't worry, I believe my launch of 2025 will likely come in the early part of next year. So please remember to subscribe to the channel for more updates. Sit tight and buckle up. The momentum is likely going to continue into January as the Ori in Toa Payoh is expected to be launched. Merry Christmas, everyone.